And we kind of plug the other company because, you know, you want good guests on your show, and you know, we do promote my business and their business, and that's what it was. Yes, Todd, put your hand down. Nobody can see
Oh, I want to be a guest on your show.
Oh, I would love to have you.
She's going to pencil you in.
And then she called me out for raising my hand.
I'm
Isn't that
sorry.
amazing? Isn't
I'm
that
sorry.
amazing?
You're my new favorite Midwestern wasp. Yes.
How long have
You
you
can
been?
totally be on my show. I love Midwestern wasp. All right, so to finish the overall, what does my real estate show do for me, for buyers and sellers and anybody else, investors in the real estate market, is that I think they learn that I actually am fun to work with. You know how many realtors are not fun to work with? Who wants to deal with somebody, be joined at the hip for a good 45 to 60 days that they don't like? Now, some people who are married do that day in and day out, but I'm married to you for a very short period of time, and you better have fun.
Todd, since you work a lot with real estate agents, or you have in the past, what is it you're looking for in someone that you're working with? What are some of the qualities?
I think one of the most important things is, obviously, she's hitting him on the head, but this is going to sound really silly.
Uh-oh.
There are no silly questions.
No, I have an answer. Answer my phone. When I call a realtor, just answer the phone. I've went through more potential realtors wanting to work with me by them being too busy to take my phone call.
That's amazing.
Yikes. You know, I am very busy.
Answer it on Saturday. Sunday I understand.
Dude,
but
sometimes I'm on the radio and I cannot answer your phone. And sometimes I'm actually working with somebody in person. How rude would that be if I were working with you on your beautiful place on Anna Maria that we were talking about, and I answered the phone in the middle of you telling me a sob story and crying, which has actually happened before.
Okay,
Not with
so
you, Todd.
first of all, I
kidding.
wouldn't be calling you and crying. I'm just saying.
Are you sure?
You asked me a question, I'm answering it.
Okay.
Maybe I don't want to be on your show.
Oh.
You're going to be mean to me.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
No, I won't be mean to you. But
I'm going to call you right now.
Okay.
What's your number?
Because, no, don't call me.
Call her.
I want to know if you'll answer the call.
Try.
I'm
if you
in
answer the
person,
call-
why would you want to call me?
Because then you'll show the viewers and the listeners that you'll answer your
I
call.
want to follow. Stop. Sometimes I can't answer the phone. I'm eating.
But do you answer
doing
it
other
after?
perfunctory things throughout the
afterwards.
day.
But
you will be
afterwards.
talking to me. And here's the really cool thing. As a realtor, and really, I can give you my last 3 buyers that worked with me, and they will tell you I'm the most accessible realtor because they love it. At midnight, when they freak out and they have this thought, they can text me and I actually answer them within seconds.
Okay.
I sleep with my phone.
Okay, so let me give you the flip side of that, because you're exactly right. So I'm going to help you out. You're doing exactly what I would hope for. The other question is, the B side to my frustration level is the realtor that stops talking to me in the middle of my presentation to talk to somebody else.
Oh.
So, I can't have it both ways, can I? Is that what you're telling me?
Having your cake and eating it too.
That's what my life's about.
Pretty much what you're asking.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't it?
He seems to get away with it.
No, but I'm giving you an out because I exactly know what you're saying. But when even after the 3rd time I get it, answer my call, let me know, or have an assistant. But you're exactly right, because the second most frustrating thing to me is the realtor that just takes every phone call while he's showing me a $3 million piece of property or even a $30,000 piece of property.
Exactly.
Am I not important? So you're exactly right. So I think you answered that question perfectly.
But as a professional, let's just say you're a doctor. Do you have to go through triage? Because you have to prioritize things. If you are with me in person and you're making a decision on the property that you want to buy, and you're the phone caller that wants to know about a listing I have, calling on a sign call just to ask me if it's for rent and when it's for sale, who's more important?
Oh my goodness. Well, I think the 8,000 people who listen to this show right now, they're probably going, wow, this is a real life example of
That is a real life example. I have to
client.
prioritize. Now, I will get back to that person that left me a voicemail, but if they're really smart, they'll text me, and while I'm with you, you won't even see me answer their question.
Okay, I just want to qualify to the listeners out there. Are we fighting? We're not fighting.
No, you're my new favorite wasp from the Midwest. And you're going to be on my show.
And I'm going to call you.
Now?
I
I won't answer.
no,
I'm
you've
not
already-
answering.
I know.
I am prioritizing.
I think you answered the
Okay,
question
watch this.
perfect.
And
I
then
think we
all of a
should move
sudden,
on.
squirrel, there it is. Okay.
Todd.
And squirrel is the metaphor for ADD, right?
Todd.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, it
thank you.
is.
I'm-
Thank you.
we're
You're
tracking.
smart.
Let me-
You're smart. I'm going to totally answer your call.
Yes, ma'am.
Love it.
This is where I pull out my
Whip.
my pop gun. Okay.
Your pop gun.
No.
What's
no.
a pop
No,
gun?
it's one of all. It's before
Okay,
your time.
okay.
Before your
okay.
time. If Todd, you've been in business for a long time. You've done a lot of real estate transactions. You've started and grown multiple companies in various states. Can you give us, can you give the general audience a feeling of what it is that drives you to do this? What is it that makes you want to start a company, grow a business? You're by far, upper 1 percentile of energy people that I've met. You're constantly smiling, moving, buying businesses, selling businesses, growing businesses. What is it that drives you?
I just like to build. I think that's a great question.
Is it money?
No, well, I didn't answer it that way. I think I agree. I like to build. It's funny because I build companies and then sometimes I get bored with them.
See, boredom.
Okay? So, and I don't mean that I'm bored with my primary endeavor, Payserve Systems.
Yeah.
I love it. But the thing about business and even real estate is that it's ever changing. And excellence is the key to whatever I'm going to do. And so it frustrates me until I can get something right. And then when I get it to a certain point, I need to improve it. So sometimes it means growing that specific industry to even to another level. In most cases, that's what it is. But actually building, when I do house remodels or buy property and do those things, I love watching it come to life in front
The
of me.
construction.
Yeah, I love it. It just feels so...
That is why you're hooked on HGTV.
That's
I
right.
Get it.
I love it.
And your first 2 channels, the only 2 channels that you watch,
well...
HGTV, and we don't really have to name the other one. You don't want to.
I don't have a problem with that.
And then because we were
Maybe
talking.
a caller could come in and guess that. Chip.
Yeah. And then what is it you've learned about people in all these transactions and all these activities?
People matter. People matter. People's lives matter. The way I treat people, the way people respond to what I'm doing, people matter. And I think that we get lost in ourselves sometimes. I know I'm like the guy with the biggest ego in the room in many cases.
Yeah.
But it's okay because I can joke about it. And even though you do have a certain type of swag, I think you have to always understand that the overriding theme is success in people. You don't have success without people, and you don't have success without making people successful.
Do you see yourself as a coach or a motivator or?
I've done a lot of motivational speaking. I love to do that. I love the energy in the room. I like to build up people. I like to empower people. Dave Kaufman does a great job on this show, and I think that's why him and I resonate so often with ideas. But yeah, I just love people. I think my next job, if I could pick one, would be an Uber driver.
Because?
Because you get to just pick up people and there's no pressure and you get to talk to them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. What you don't like that?
I love it.
Uber.
I love it.
I think
I
that
recently became an Uber customer. It was awesome.
it wasn't a great experience.
It was a wonderful experience, but
I'm just saying.
yeah.
So
That's
I might squeeze that in.
If somebody's starting a business or somebody wants to move ahead and they keep getting frustrated because life keeps throwing logs in their way and all that, any advice for those wannabe entrepreneurs that feel like they just oh my goodness, I just can't get through this?
Yeah, I think that we had a great conversation a while back at the Yes Group, and entrepreneurs, you need to just wake up and realize you're wired differently. And you have to embrace that money is not your temple. It's ideas are your temple, and success in your ideas are your your goals of success. And sometimes that means that you're murky and you're clouded and you're down. And I think that you need to understand that that's just part of the process of success, and that you need to embrace it and don't give up.
Well, we're going to take a short break here, and we'll be right back, and we'll continue our conversation with Todd Saylor and Kay. All right, we're back. We're back with Todd and Kay. And I guess maybe now is a good time, since everybody's been talking all this time, to formally introduce Todd Saylor. He is the CEO, president, founder, and the 9,000 watt generator full of energy for PayServe systems. And maybe you could just tell just a little bit about your company, Todd. What is it you guys do? And you're a pretty well-known group around here, and I know you started up not too long ago. You're growing very fast.
We started in 2003.
And what type of services do you provide?
We're a nationwide payroll services bureau. But we're entering into this new era of our life where everything starts with HR. So
How does HR integrate with payroll today?
well, forever, payroll has been a byproduct of HR. But payroll is always the most significant piece of HR from a touch point. So payroll is done every week or every 2 weeks, and it touches the most important piece of, or most important asset of any company. And that would be what, Al?
People?
People. Employees, right? So we need a bell. Someone needs to ding a bell every time Al gets a question right.
Ka-ching.
So, ka-ching. So since it's involving employees, the most important asset of any organization, it gets touched first and most often, and payroll has to be right. But you know, the nuance of the world order that we're living in now, and all the good things that are going on in the government, and some things that are compelling and compromising and confusing, the HR aspect of payroll is being stretched. And I'm speaking most specifically with the Affordable Care Act, the ACA situation. You know, most recently the government, it's not even recently anymore. As of 2010, the government compelled the entire country to make it a law, not just an idea, but a law that every employee in America had to carry health insurance on themselves. It's a law. I mean,
And it's enforced by the IRS.
correct. It's a law, it's a tax, it's a rule, it's life now as we know it. And to make it even more compelling, they've mandated that every employer over 50 ALEs, or full-time equivalent employees, if you have a combination of 200 employees, part-time, full-time, and they add up to more than 50 full-time employees, you as an employer are required by law to provide health insurance for those employees. So either way, you're going to have health insurance in this country by law.
And the laws, when I was in business, they were onerous, and that was 10 some years back, 15 years ago. They were onerous, and it seemed we had a full-time HR group. The whole, it was 100 employees, so we were getting up there. But the laws were onerous, and my understanding from all the business owners I speak with is that they're worse than they've ever been as far as compliance.
You know, someone would say someone's tomato is someone's tomato. So it's worse for some and it's better for others. So let's say it's worse in compliance capacity for the employer, especially the employer who is over 50 ALEs, or 50 full-time equivalents employees. Because now they are forced by the government to buy health insurance for their employees. And if they don't, Al, it's a $2,000 penalty per employee that they don't provide health insurance for. So it's probably worse for that employer. Now, who is it not worse for? The employee. Okay? So, you know, perspective is a big deal. Especially when you're an owner or a CEO or any of the capacity of leadership. Perspective is important.
But maybe that's why the medium income in this country has stayed so flat, if not dropping, because all this money that might have gone to giving people raises or growing businesses has gone sideways. Is that fair to say that?
I will tell you I'm a Republican. but I don't know that I agree with that. I just don't know. I think.
You think it's a wash? Do you think there's efficiency in that?
I just think
in the system?
I think that entrepreneurs, business owners, always find a way, Kay.
That's so true.
We all, when I say we, I'm saying you and I as a business owner. Al, you've owned businesses. And so you have to decide if you're that business owner that's going to say, okay, I found a loophole in the government and everyone's losing their jobs right now, and I'm going to stop investing in my organizational growth because I can save extra money and take advantage of people willing to work for less. We went through that. We're still kind of going through that because people were just afraid not to have a job. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs or business owners just stashed money and took advantage of that ride and waited. I didn't. I said, you deserve a raise. We're going to push through this. We're going to find a better way. It's going to hurt our bottom line, but we're going to get through this. And so when you look at the health insurance marketplace and you look at the changes that Mr. Obama is making, and I'm not giving him a commercial, I'm just saying that he made a tough decision, and I see some really good pieces of it, and I see some very, very difficult pieces of it. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm in an industry where we make money by cleaning up messes.
That's so true.
So, I didn't sit around and say, okay, oh, what a mess. I don't agree with it, which philosophically there's a lot of pieces of that I didn't agree with, but I said, how do we fix it for these clients? We have over 1,000 clients all over the country, and I knew there would be this cascade of confusion.
Since you are involved with thousands of businesses, really, very closely, how do you see the business climate for companies today, for established companies and maybe even startups? How do you view it?
Well, I have to be encouraging. When you say, I want to make it clear to the audience that I don't own thousands of businesses. But
no, you're in touch with.
Yeah, Al's referring to as many as thousands of clients, and I own at least 8 organizations, to be fair. Mm-hmm. I want you to understand that most people are positive. We don't see payroll companies' check counts shrinking right now.
Really?
It's a good indicator of what we're trying to accomplish. I think the freeze is off. The investment is not on. Okay, so when I say that, I want you to understand that there was a clear lockdown. I remember in 2010 when everything rattled, and we were cruising along doing payroll as normal till January 1st, 2011. And it was like a tsunami. All the business owners who we deal with predominantly, our paycheck count, we didn't lose clients, but the check count was down 1/3 in our entire organization.
Is that because, I'm sorry to chime in here, but that is because they were trying to find a loophole perhaps and not have full-time employees?
Well, no, that was prior to the ACA.
Oh, okay.
But it was the whole idea of being scared and just basically laying everybody off.
The uncertainty.
The uncertainty.
And the fear of what you're gonna.
They were not. Yeah, they
fear
were
of
not.
Knowledge.
They were
right.
better off removing employees, laying them off, counting their money,
And that's a shame.
and being safe. Well,
That is a shame.
It's a shame.
It's
but
a breakdown of the entire small business and the middle class. I'm sorry.
It was.
And I'm
was.
not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat, so I just, but that is my take on it too.
It is.
And I also want to ask you, when you said that it's a business's responsibility to find loopholes and that kind of thing and work within the government guidelines, and that's a shame too that they have to do that. And then I also appreciated what you said about your company, is that philosophically you were doing the right thing. You were not finding that loophole, and basically, I'm sorry, the bleep machine going or what?
No, we're
Screwing
fine.
the basic employee.
All right.
And a lot of large businesses have done that, and that is really unfortunate, and that's one of the things that I don't like about it.
Well, and I hear you saying, now loophole, let me backtrack.
Okay,
I have some people
all right.
getting ready to call in. I see the phone's blinking right now. All loopholes aren't bad, okay? Loopholes are things that you need to navigate through to make sure you can actually keep people happy and to stay profitable and to understand the organizational chain. No one's advertising that you should try to take advantage of things. But there are areas that are stronger than others that we do need to understand. So bottom line is, in that period, what happened was business owners decided, let's step back and see what's going to happen. Let's not go forward. Let's not create jobs.
We're getting ready to do our final break, and this is the last segment that's very short. The time in here goes really fast. I'd love to ask you the big question. How much does spirituality have to do with moving forward in life? And, you know, how do you see the world? How does that reflect in your lifestyle and your business success? And then, very important, where did you get that nice shirt?
Oh, are we doing it after the break?
After the break.
Nice.
All right, welcome back. And Case here, and Todd is here. Todd is the CEO, founder, and president of PayServe, as well as a few other companies.
I'm a grandfather.
A real entrepreneur, and he's in the 1 percentile as far as energy goes.
Right, he sucked me in and I stayed. Because I was just going to be there for 10 minutes, and then I started talking to him, and well, of course
I'm so glad you changed your mind.
Yeah, but
I love you too, Alex.
Make sure you ask me if I'm a grandfather.
Are you a grandfather?
Yes, I am.
You don't look
way.
old enough.
Oh, I like it. I had a little grandson.
Mazel tov.
You didn't.
I did not actually.
You did not actually have it.
Well, I was part of the process because I had the child that had the my wife. I get
there
it.
you go.
My wife.
All right, you were involved. You were not
my
committed.
wife of 28 years had our firstborn in 1990, and her name was Courtney Saylor. And then we had Kendra Saylor. Then we had Kara Saylor, and God said, "No boys for you."
Oh.
Then my oldest daughter had a little baby boy, and his name is Saylor.
Oh,
is that the coolest
That's
thing?
cool.
Yes,
That's
sir.
cool.
Saylor Lincoln King.
So
I bet
as,
he's going to go to the Navy. I'm just going to say that.
So-
It's probably
I would
in your-
love it if he would go in the
That would
service.
be awesome.
So for this engine that you have, all this energy that you have, and this driving force to build things and create things and hire people and be surrounded by people, where does all that energy come from? What's the driving force? Is it spirituality? Is it a God? Are you religious?
Yikes.
I think your mother and your father have a lot to do with all that worldly imprinting. My mom, she was a buzzsaw, man. My dad is, and I still have my mother, by the way. My dad is a legendary football coach. You put that and shake it up and you get me. And then you throw Christ into it.
Okay.
And then that kind of takes over from there. And yeah, I think that you don't want to let your parents down, and certainly you don't want to let your godly father down. And then you have children, and then all of a sudden you have employees, and you're just charging ahead. And you know, it's funny, Kay. I sometimes think about life and success,
And the pursuit of happiness?
yes.
We have to give him a
Excellent.
second.
And it's like climbing that tree, you know. And I'm one of those guys that climbs the tree, and it's a really tall tree.
And then you see a squirrel.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's all right.
But you climb the tree, and you see the person. You grab on each branch, and the branch, and the branch, and the branch. And before you know it, you decide to look down. And you're so high up in that tree. And then you see all those branches that you're going to smack on the way down. And I just think that's the kind of thing that you want to work through in life, and you understand that if you're going to start climbing, you can't stop climbing. And I don't think it's really particularly good to look down too much, because your goals have to keep going forward. And I think the people you surround yourself with matter, and they matter most. You know, I really, really do.
When I sold my business back in 2000, I was very upset about it because I was really plugged into it. We had 100 people, and it was
horrible.
It was horrible. I actually went into a shell for like almost 2 years where I did not talk to people.
It's okay.
I just could not deal with people at all. And it took me a little bit over 2 years to actually start communicating with people.
Yeah.
It was not about the money, it was with the people that I missed.
I've been there. I've been there.
Tell me about Thrive.
Thrive.
And the shirt.
Is it the
Because
shirt?
thriving,
Okay.
going vertical,
Shirt
it
first.
reminded me of thrive.
Is it a great word,
It is
thrive?
an excellent
We're going
word.
to talk about Thrive. And the shirt, of course, my good friend Phil Burgos over at Men's Warehouse Club on Sarasota 41.
It
there.
shows class.
These guys over there, and I'm plugging them because I just love them. I went there last night and they fed me food, they gave me drinks, and they just said they wanted to see me, right? Well, they sold me 3 suits in the meantime. But, I mean, just be prepared if you go there. You're going to get a great deal, and you're going to spend some money, but it'll be worth it. But Thrive. Thrive is our newest product in PayServe Systems. And we were kind of leading into it with the ACA and all the complexity of doing business as a small business owner. And it's just not payroll anymore. We just can't just say, well, we'll be your payroll company and we'll get your taxes right and we'll do all that. We have to do all those things. But the government has been artfully selective on things like ACA and compliance. And HR is first. Payroll is not first. Payroll is a byproduct of human resource.
That's right. That's right.
And for us to look at payroll singularly would be a fail, an epic fail in the world going forward. So we jumped out early about 2 years ago, and we helped build a software platform that's going to allow us to handle the Affordable Care Act and to handle the nuances of the government's continued play into our lives as business owners. And we're going to be targeting larger clients that need these solutions.
When you say larger, how many employees?
Well, we'd like to see 100 or more employees. Certainly, we'll work with those. Most of the compliance starts at 50, so we'll be working with some of the 50 employers or larger. This software solution of PayServe Systems is spectacular. It's one of a kind, single sign-on, cloud-based, fast computation. It's just really amazing, and I'm not overselling it right now, Al. I am not overselling it. It does it all. Applicant tracking.
How long have you had the software up and running?
2 years.
2 years. So you've gone past the shake-up cruise.
I'm not going to lie to people. I mean, there's always a shake-up. They changed. You know, the Affordable Care Act changed 16 times, I'm sure, of it in the last 2 years, and they just did an iteration the other day. So we're moving through it, and we're working with hundreds of clients that are being very patient with us, and maybe a few that aren't, but we're getting it.
One of the things that I'm really impressed with you is that I speak with hundreds of, if not more, business owners on a fairly regular basis. And really, realistically, I hear a lot of complaining, bitching, moaning, blah, 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 you know, this. You're one of the very few people that I know that said, you know, enough of this. Okay, this problem is my opportunity. Okay, this is, I'm paying you a compliment in a way, and this is not gratuitous in any way.
I like it.
So it seems like your positive attitude. So this is the way it's going to be. We're going to deal with it. Not only are we going to deal with it, but we're going to thrive in this environment. Does it?
I love it.
Resonate?
That's why we named it Thrive. We wanted to. Way to go, Al.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Kudos.
Gratuitous name.
But you know, you couldn't come up with a better name. You couldn't come up with a more timely product. And if you asked me 2 things about what I'm good at in business, it would be timing and intellect. Timing is so important in business.
Yes, it is.
And integrity. Those are the 2 things.
And
Timing
so
and
many things
integrity.
in
Timing
life.
and integrity.
Timing,
Now, you can move it around. Timing really doesn't have a lot to do with anything but wisdom and intuition and tenure. And integrity is something that can go back to your parents, go back to your religious
Well, it goes
convictions,
for
or just being that
anything, not just
individual.
business, huh?
Yeah. So I would never tell you I could actually process a payroll successfully. I mean,
That's okay, you're a businessman, you're an entrepreneur.
But that's my industry. But I have
that's
people
okay,
that do
but
that.
you don't have to actually work in your business, you have to work on your business.
No,
2 different things,
But
right?
I have great people who can then do that.
Excellent,
And, yeah,
excellent,
and
that is the way to do it.
timing and integrity.
So
Those are the 2 things.
It's okay. Are you going to invite Todd for your radio
Yes,
show?
I am.
And it's today at 2, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Really? I thought you had a showing at 2K.
I have, actually some ball game things.
There's-
that I
there's
would
ways
say
she
that
does
may be
that.
approved.
So everybody out there, Kay will not
I'm
be
going to the
answering
ball
your
game
phone
actually
at 2
today.
o'clock.
I'm going to see.
She
I'm going to see a
pre-tapes.
most excellent ball game today. So
No,
But
she
Thrive,
pre-tapes.
Thrive is, you nailed it.
What do you like to do for fun? You only got 30 seconds. What do you like to do for fun, Todd?
I'm in the gym.
In the gym.
I'm in the
oh,
gym.
It shows. It
I love
shows.
it. I love it. That's
Everyone,
what you do.
thank
Fuel
you
up,
much.
baby.
thank you for having
I
me.
want everybody to thrive.
Thank you much, Dave. Have fun on the road. Bye-bye.